Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we are going to conduct lecture number 4 of this online series, and the topic of today's lecture is segmentation with segment registers and memory segmentation. So the topic is segment registers and memory segmentation. Segment registers are very important and integral part of microprocessor 8086 or 8088. So these are important registers. In this lecture we are going to learn what are their contents, how programmer can modify the content of uh, these segment registers, and further how they are interrelated with memory segmentation. So let's start our lecture. 8088 or 8086 has 1 megabyte of address available that we have learned, and this 1 megabyte address is referring towards the memory space which is available for the microprocessor. But a very important fact about these memory addresses, that all of these are not available instantaneously for the uh, microprocessor. Rather, memory is divided into different segments, and those segments are available. So how many segments are available, we are going to learn about it, but this full memory is not available for the microprocessor access. Rather, this memory is divided into various segments, and those segments are available. So one can easily ask that if the total size of the memory was 1 million byte, so what about the size of memory segment? So each memory segment is about 64 kilobytes. So every segment can hold information of around 64 kilobyte. So in this slide we are again increasing some of our knowledge, and we are learning a fact that only 4 segments are active at a time. So at any instant microprocessor have access to only 4 segments. We don't know at this moment that how many segments are available. We are going to learn that how many segments can be generated. It's just a part of next topics. But what we are learning here, that microprocessor's memory is divided into various segments, and each of them has a size of 64 kilobyte, but not all of them are available to microprocessor, rather only 4 segments. So what are those 4 segments which are available? The first one is the code segment, and code segment is as a memory portion which is just dedicated for the purpose of the code. I mean, where a programmer or any user can store the program or any instructions in the memory. And the third part is, second part is data segment, and it is just as its name reflects, it is the it is dedicated for the storage of data, any type of data coming from input, going to output, going for manipulation of going for manipulation towards the program, or coming after the manipulation from the program. So whatever the data is, and it's going to store in data segment. And the third, which is very important segment, it is a state segment. I hope you have learned this concept of a stake. A stake is a very integral part of any microcomputer architecture, and if you haven't, don't worry, we are going to deliver a complete lecture about this particular topic, because this is very important to our programming point of view. So a complete portion or the segment is dedicated for stake only. The fourth segment which is available for microprocessor is extra segment. An extra segment, as its name suggests, it is extra. Extra to what? It is extra to data segment. Whenever your data segment is full and you have still information which is data to store, you need to save it in extra. So it is kind of redundant segment to the data segment. Here we are learning a very important fact about segments, and that is base address. What is base address? Before we explain base address, let's come to this diagram. You see here this diagram. This is the complete memory. This is the memory, right? And that is your microprocessor, and in this microprocessor we have just shown a limited portion of registers, and those are segment registers. So these are segment registers, and if you count them, these are also 4, and their name is also similar, like code segment. Here we have also code segment register. Since it is a register, so one can also call it CSR, code segment register. Similarly, the second register is SS, which is state segment register. The third is data segment register. The fourth one is ES, extra segment register. So these are 4 different registers, and they are storing certain information. What is that information? Before I explain that, let's come to this memory. This is the memory. This is the full memory, and we are about to observe a very important fact. If you look at this line, I'm sorry, just let me raise it. That's not perfectly aligned. If you look at this address range, look, this is address range, and it starts from 000 hex and it goes to 5 times f in the hexadecimal. So it is the minimum address of memory, and that one is maximum address of the memory. So memory is starting from this memory location and going from this down location to the up location, and this complete memory is divided into various segments, but out of those segments only 4 segments are shown. For example, that is the code segment. And it is the lowest part of the code segment, and this one is maximum part of the code segment. Well, the lowest part, here we are interested in the lowest part, and lowest part is being pointed by this arrow. Look, the lowest address is being pointed by this arrow, and this arrow is the content of this CS register. What is this CS register? Code segment register. So whatever the content of code segment register, it is pointing towards the very first byte of code segment, or very lowest byte of the code segment. So one can also say that starting address of code segment is stored here in CS register. That's it. The same analogy is applicable to SS register. For example, we see that is your SS register. That is the minimum address. That is the maximum address for extra segment, and this minimum address is being pointed by this arrow, which is stored in state segment register. So a state segment register is containing a value which is the address for the minimum byte or the lowest byte of the segment register, and this fact is true for all other segments, including data segment, extra segment. So the lowest byte of every segment is stored in their corresponding segment register. So that is written here. The starting address of each segment is written starting address of each segment is written or known as base address, and it is written in where in segment register. So the base address is also the lowest address, as we have learned during this discussion. And furthermore, it is again the same thing. The segment base addresses of various registers are stored in the segment register, as we have discussed here. In this slide, we are going to enlist some of the facts that we have learned during the previous slides. So 4 segments in total provide access to 256 kilobyte of active memory. So we know that the whole complete memory is consists of 1 million locations, but 4 segments are available at an instantaneously, and those 4 segments are providing access to 256 kilobyte of active memory. And how 256? Because there are 4 segments, and each of them is equivalent to 64 kilobytes, so in total it becomes 256 kilobytes. Out of these 256 kilobytes, 64 kilobytes are just dedicated for code storage. Code storage means any instruction or program which is going to store inside this code segment. Another 64 kilobyte of memory is dedicated for the purpose of stake, and we are going to learn in the separate lectures about it. 128 kilobyte are dedicated for the purpose of data storage, and this 120 kilobyte is the resultant of data plus extra segments memory. Here we are going to learn another name for segment based address. If you remember, the content of segment register are also known as segment based address, and there is another special name for segment based address is current segment register value. So it is just another name for that. Okay, this point is important, and in this point we are going to just recall an important fact that data is always fetched in word format. Whenever you are accessing data from memory, you are going to fetch 2 bytes of information, not single byte of information. So that is not in byte format. Let me use a different color. Yeah, so that is never in byte format, rather they are just in word format. So every time CS is pointing to certain value, then it is pointing towards a wide storage location, not a word wide storage location, not a bytes location. That's it from this slide. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so this slide is further explain this segmentation, further details. Here, if you see this diagram, we see so many letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and so on, and these are just nothing but segments, the various segments which are indicated by English alphabets A, B, C, and onwards. So these are various segments which are available across the overall memory, and you can see here it is the minimum address of the memory 0 hex, and the maximum address of the memory is FFF hex. So there are so many segments which are present in between this range. And what are these? These are just various segment registers. For example, the topmost is data segment register, the second is code segment register, the third one is stake segment register, the fourth one is extra segment register. So what data segment register has? Data segment register has the value B. And what is B? B is this second segment. Look, this is the second segment. And as I explained in the last slide, here again if you see, this is the B segment, and this is the minimum address or the lowest address of V segment. So this lowest address uh, is being pointed by this data segment register. So the data segment register has the value B, which means it is pointing towards the bottom of the segment B, and that is what does it mean? It means it is pointing towards the lowest address of the segment, and what that lowest address is termed, that is called segment based address or the current segment value. So this point is basically segment based address of this register of this segment, and that segment is segment B, and that is why B is written here. Similarly, this is not only known as segment based address, it is also known as current segment register value. So it is just another name of this thing. Well, in this slide we are going to discuss about the code segment register and its content. Here we see in this diagram the value of the code segment register is E, which is pointing towards this segment. Which segment? This segment. That is E segment, and that is the minimum address for each segment, and that is maximum address of each segment. Well, this minimum address of each segment is pointed by this value, which is E, and it is written in CS. So the CS register content, the content of CS register is E, and does it points to this segment register, okay, or it points to, does it points to this segment uh, register, which is E here. And okay, this point is again explaining a very important fact that these segments, all of these segments can be assigned to any of these segment register. For example, this time in this example, only segment E has been chosen as a code segment, and it is being pointed by this code segment register, but it is quite possible then one can choose segment K, and it can be pointed by code segment. So any of these segments can be assigned to these segment registers, or in other words, any of these segment registers can point to any of these segments. Similarly, the fact is given for stake segment and extra segment registers. We can see that stake segment value is segment H right here, and it is pointing towards this segment, and similarly the extra segment is pointing towards J, which is segment J. So that's it for this diagram. Okay, let's enlist some of the facts about the segment registers. Segment registers are user accessible. That means user can easily access the content of segment register. Who is the user here? User is programmer who is going to program microprocessor. For example, a programmer can easily modify the content of this register state segment. Its current content is basically segment H, but uh, stake segment register can also point to segment C. So C can easily be written here in the content of stake segment register, and programmer can do it easily. We are going to learn how we will do it while we are going to learn about the programming this microprocessor. The third point explain the same thing. Extra segment can also be chosen any type of any of them or any of the segment can be chosen as an extra segment by the just modifying the content of extra segment register. Well, in this slide, we are going to learn the only restriction which is imposed while one is going to assign the value to the segment register. So there is only one thing which is about the base value of segment register, and it must be of 16-byte address boundary. What does it mean? We are going to learn about it. It is a 16-bit value in a segment register. That means, for example, we know that segment registers are how many bit long? They are basically only 16-bit long. 16-bit long. So how many hexadecimal numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hexadecimal symbols will be used. For example, our address is 1024, right? That is the address. If we are going to change this one number by just one unit, for example, we are going to point to 1025. That means we are just increasing by one unit, but it will result in 16-byte address boundary, because we are talking about hexadecimal number. That means by the increment of just single one, memory address is increased by 16. This thing will become much more clear when we are going to learn how to generate the physical addressing from the logical addressing. These are the two concepts which are still unknown to us, so it's a bit complex at this point, but I hope we will understand when we are going to explore the logical and the physical addressing. But at this point, we must one must keep this thing in mind, that this is the only single restriction on the value of segment register, that is 16. It must be a 16 byte address. For example, the valid addresses will be 000, 0010, 0020, and so on. If you see this value, this value is basically still 0, and if you look them carefully, these are how many hexadecimal symbols? 5 hexadecimal symbols, because we are talking about physical address of a memory is 20-bit address, but the segment register is just 16-bit. So that is the translation is going on while one is going to deal with the physical and the logical addressing. I hope in the next coming lectures we are going to learn about these things in much detail. So in this slide, we are going to deal with the different ways in which one can actually design various segments. Very first type of segment could be contiguous. What does it mean? Let me draw a memory so that we can physically check it. That's your memory. And let's say we are designing a segment. That's my segment number 1. So what will be next segment? Let's choose a different color. That means this is the contiguous. You see, the border between the two segments is same. The point where the first segment ends, it is a point, the same point next segment is going to start. Let's see what is the next one. That is the adjacent one. It's quite close to contiguous, but it is a bit different. Let's choose a different color. Let's say, yeah. You see, I am not exactly trying to reline the same line, rather I'm using a very close or adjacent line. So that is the adjacent, in which your segment is not exactly starting from the point where it was earlier stopped, rather it is starting from the very next location. Next, go to the disjoint. Disjoint is quite easy to understand. Let me erase it first. So that's my physical memory. Let's say this is my first segment and that's my second segment. You see, there is a space. This is the space between the two segments. That means these segments are not attached to each other, rather they are disjoint. So this type of segmenting is also available for a user. Let's deal with the last one, and it's quite interesting, and it is the most useful segmentation type. So let's draw the physical memory. That is my physical memory. Okay. For example, that's my segment number 1. So segment 2 will be overlapping segment like this. You see, this area between the two segments is overlapped or common. So that's how one can also choose segments. So that's these are the 4 different types in which one can design the segments. We are done with this lecture almost. Just few questions I want to raise here, and those are very important questions about segmentation. We are not going to answer right now. Rather, we will wait for certain lectures to be conducted so that we can answer them. But these questions are very uniquely raised. I hope you might have in your mind as well. So, why it is needed? Why this segmentation is required? Why the hell one is interested to do it? Or what is it's important? Why it is so important? Can we ignore it or just proceed without them? What are the possible advantages? And that's your assignment number 1. You have to deal with these questions in your assignment number 1. I will also upload them in your portal, course portal, where you can answer them with that particular link. Well, these are the questions we are also going to explore during our coming lectures. So that's it from this lecture. Um, Thank you so much for listening for this complete lecture. Well, if you have any question, just note them down. We are going to deal with them in question answer session. See you there. Thank you so much.